in the upper right, in the blue, his name, of course, for Alpha X, the Chintas, Protoss Incarnate. He's classic. His opponent in the bottom left in the red, he is the Micromaster. It's Byun. By the way, I would like to point out that my favorite nickname in StarCraft is that Byun is Micro Jackson. The StarCraft hive mind is brilliant sometimes, also cruel and horrible sometimes, but we're not talking about that. In this case, the the StarCraft hive mind can be brilliant, and Micro Jackson is fantastic. He's a smooth criminal, waltzing into bases, killing off his opponents. But again, so this is Byun's birthday here that we're watching. I asked him if he was going to win to pay for his party, and he said, "We'll try," which is Korean pro gamer for, yeah, I'm going to dumpster these fools. You know what? You know, they're often like in comedy, you have anger translators, where someone says, yes, you know, Barack Obama's anger translator, where you hear what he says diplomatically and you translate what he says. I think we need, like, it's not as bad. Players in general have gotten a lot better at interviewing and saying interesting things and talking smack in a fun way. But certainly during, like, the Wings of Liberty Heart of the Swarm stage, if it's not MC, I think we needed a Korean anger translator or a Korean smack talk translator. So when someone says, I would like to just show good games for my fans, and they're able to translate it into what it actually means. But Classic, he's got murder on the mind in this game. This should be a proxy Stargate. It's going to be for an Oracle. There we go, Stargate going down. Byun, well, he's going to be able to scout this by intuition. He's going to say, wait a minute, you're missing a pylon, and you're 3 out of 3 on gas both sides. I can count the gas, and I do not see a tech structure. So I know you have a proxy somewhere on the map, as this Reaper really shouldn't get much more. And as this is a Widow Mine opener anyways, we're going to see Widow Mines in all sort of dastardly evil spots. And that Classic may or may not be able to find. Probe still being here is interesting. I wonder if there is going to be a follow-on set of shenanigans. I don't know. There we go. Zealot's dead. Hey, that's something. Now, Widow Mine going on the low ground. Did Byun scout that? No, he didn't. Okay. Just barely missed. Just barely missed. The first Oracle on the way, not even getting chronoed up. Okay, there it is. I was gonna say, it's not even getting chronoed. Looks like Classic kind of understands this may not find the value he's looking for, but the answer to that one is no. And actually, do we have any Widow Mines in the main? I think there's only one. Where's the... where is it? Okay, there we go, behind the gas. Got it. You can kind of see it. There it is. It's pretty visible, right? Let's see if the Oracle falls victim. It certainly will be the proper attack path. And also how many Oracles Classic makes, because he's going for a hero build. This is pretty cool. So we're gonna see multiple Oracles get made as there we go, forced to run back home. Not a lot of Marines actually, but we have to remember, of course, that first of all you would heal this. Second of all, Marines with healing, yeah, they can fight this Oracle pretty damn well. Hey, Domito Robato, thank you so much for the not the follow. Thank you so much for the subscription. Really appreciate it. Prime Gaming, you're awesome. But this build coming in from Classic, he is going to build 3 Oracles, maybe even 4, and he's going to take this opportunity to be aggressive with, never mind, it's only 2 Oracles, that's Phoenix on the way. Never mind, there's the Scout though, and actually he's going to get a Phoenix pretty damn quickly, but the Oracles arrive, they do force things back, and this is a dead medevac. That is a lot of dead Marines. That is, Byun is in trouble now. 2 Oracles, Phoenix, that's a lot of DPS, and you add on these Stalkers as well. And all of a sudden, Byun luckily has a bunker. This Widow Mine's not going to get much of anything. Classic scouts it out in time. And this weird committed pressure, it's scary. This is not easy for Byun to deal with right now. Now, I don't know that it kills him, and we're going to have to see how much Classic decides to commit. Getting 3 Adepts is a really important number, by the way. 3 Adepts, 1-shot SCVs, and Marines for that matter. But it looks like, despite the damage that Classic was able to find, knocking that medevac down with 8 Marines inside, he doesn't feel comfortable enough to really get the pressure on. Not yet. But certainly, Byun does kind of feel constrained, pinned back into his own base. He's not going to be able to run across the map, punish this third for a while, or punish the fact that there is no blink, right? There's not a lot here. This is just very much a tempo move here. And now the Oracles, they fly in. How many workers they get again? It looks like it's going to be a couple. We'll take a count at the end. One Oracle goes down, so ameliorating things just a little bit, but 6 SCVs have died. At this point, though, it takes 3 ticks to damage. Oracles don't really kill things all that quickly. And Byun is going to be moving into that 7:33-1-1 timing. Really the standard one, the one that you may have heard of before, the one that has dominated this meta, dominated this matchup for quite a while now. Cyclone gets the lock on. Phoenix will be able to mostly stay alive. There we go. Cannot maintain vision. But Classic, he's just waiting. He's waiting to pounce. He's got a couple sentries here. It means he's going to be able to section this army off. He's waiting for Byun to move out on the map. He says he's licking his chops. It's a fat, juicy steak. All marbled. We're going to call it a Wagyu. And he's just waiting to see his teeth on it. Just getting the barest sear on the grill before he is able to enjoy it. And the sear looks like it's done. Byun getting ready to move out on the map. And this army, well, you know what? In all fairness, no, actually, Blink is done. Never mind. Yeah, Classic is looking to jump on top of this force field. Oh, he's going to get so many Marines to start, and there is no siege jump on the tanks. Byun is just not microing this appropriately. He's going to be able to save a couple Marines and a second layer of force fields. He's minigun all over again, and the Raven goes down too. The tanks are starting to fall. Classic, he's done it in this game with a most unorthodox play, but it does not matter how orthodox or unorthodox it is. He takes the game. There we go. Classic takes game 1. In the bottom right, trying to deny his opponents a wonderful birthday. He is in the blue up 1. It's Classic. In the upper left, in the red, trying to fund his party for the Shot Power Rebellion. It's Byun. That's about all I got. All the beatboxing I got, but, you know, we're celebrating. Or something. We're celebrating good StarCraft. That's what we're celebrating. That style from Classic was so abusive. And I mean that in the best way possible. You love to see it. You really do, as Byun says, well, you know what if I just be annoying? I take a page out of Mars' book and Clem's book is really the only 2 Terrans that consistently do this. I'm going to go eBay block. You know, 3 probes are pulled, so eBay is not going to last for forever, but it does delay the natural just a little bit. And that's not exactly what you want here as Classic. You want to get your economic engine as ready as it can be, as quick as you can. Naomi is the goddess. You say Dota's the best, and I agree. Well, second best. StarCraft, clearly the best. The World Team League put on a show match between Scarlet and Lambo, Laser, Kellizer, sort of, in Clem, versus Maxed and Time and Coffee and F91 and Shasta. So, West versus East Dota show match. Hey, NASA Orangutan, thank you so much for the follow. But anyway, so they did a Dota show match. It was really interesting because you had Clem, who was literally the Chinese community was making memes about how their game plan was killing him to feed Coffee to win the game. But anyway, I cast the entire thing. It was a best of 3. It's on my YouTube channel if you're curious. About 2.5 hours of interesting Dota action. But honestly, the end of it, the way Game 3 ended was pretty freaking hype. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm the best Dota caster. I've cast it. Now I can say once I've cast a single best of 3 in Dota because I did it for that show match. But I'm not going to say I'm the best. And in general, folks, I upload a lot of stuff to YouTube. It's slowed down as of late. And if you're watching this on YouTube, well, you know I put stuff on YouTube. Slowed down a little bit because King of Battles really put me behind the content curve, and then I had a bunch of recordings that I lost all the audio to, which was unfortunate. So there was that. But in general, I try to upload VODs every day. In 4K, no less. Because we are that fancy. Take advantage of YouTube's fantastic transcoding. Classic, though, in this game, he is opening Phoenix play. He does have an Oracle, but he's not really opted to do much of anything with it just yet. And Byun, for his part, his natural's going down right now. Of course, natural in the high ground because eBay blocked, which slows the natural down by some number of minerals, which then means that you're more vulnerable to adept harass and things like that. So you build it on the high ground. It's fine. You say, I've done more damage to you than you have to me. The big question, though, is how much damage does this Widowmine drop? Is Classic paying attention? Drop 1, 2, 3. Classic is not paying attention. This is going to be rather slow. Tracers at the end are not going to do enough. Only 3 workers go down. Revelation on the 4th Widowmine, so it's not even going to get damage here. It looked like Classic was not responding quick enough, but he got there in time. And, I mean, he got 1 probe per Widowmine. Oh, we got 6. I guess he got more. I thought it was 1 per. So, he'll take that. He will absolutely take that one. Is he going to try to rotate over once again? It's not revelated. We got to wait, of course, for the Widowmines to come off cooldown. But the Phoenix are rotating on over too. They know what Byun is up to. He's got the soul read on Byun's positioning. And so the medevac has to run on home. Oh, Byun, if he was a sneaky boy, he would drop these Widowmines and just sit over them. So there we go. We're going to see, yep, that is the defense. But Oracle says, no, 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 not allowed. That is no bueno. So we're going to see, yeah, the Widowmines, they fall. I mean, Byun got value. We got 6 workers. In fact, he's equal on worker. He's equal on workers with Classic. So everything I said about, oh, it's not working out for Byun all that well, let me amend that statement. Byun's pretty happy. All right, so Byun, well, it's the same build he went for last time. +1 stem combat shields. That 730 move out is really going to be the piece de resistance thing he's looking for. But this time, he's not going to be ambushed by insane force fields. I mean, I don't know that enough has been made of how good those force fields were on game 1. I mean, seriously, that killed Byun right there. He maybe had a shot afterwards to retreat back and build an army up again and do something, but that force fields just killed him. Straight up. Really fantastic force fields. But Curious Minds is not a map like that has those high ground positions that you can defend so easily for the 3rd base. And also, Byun's not incurably far behind by the opening. In fact, he's in a fairly decent spot. So the Hellion dives, and of course, it's going to take 3 shots. It's not going to get much of anything, but these Hellions were leftovers from the early game. They didn't find much value. They say, we might as well try something, but, you know, whatever. It's a scout. It's a scout. So what I actually think is rather interesting is Classic has gone Phoenix Colossus this game. And that's not particularly interesting in and of itself, as we do see the army of Byun running across the map. All of his upgrades are going to sync up pretty nicely. And he's going to get a free Observer, always value. But I want to point this out because Classic has been one of those players that really does enjoy Phoenix Char Slot into store. In fact, that was kind of all he was playing when he came back from the military. He almost single-handedly brought it back into the meta, which is fun. But now Byun looking to get aggressive here. This army is not big enough. Run, flee for your lives. Because, yeah, Byun is not going to find the value. But he's got to drop the main base. He's managed to force the entire army and all the Phoenix to the front of the map. And that means that he's going to kill off a couple workers. Maybe get a gas. That's nice. I mean, this drop is dead. So Byun didn't commit too hard to it. But he found something. Please target workers. Yeah, okay, he's going to target workers as they go back. That's a little bit preemptive there. Classic gonna lose a lot more than that, just targeting everything down. Now, Byun cannot find the 3rd because there is a lot of stuff here. Oh, maybe disable on the Colossus. You know what? Actually, with the disable on the Colossus, we're gonna have to see the shield battery get targeted down. Toot sweet. It's gonna go down here as well, and now we're gonna see Immortals fall. Phoenix trying to lift up what they can. Colossus, eventually the disable will be done, so Byun's gonna be forced back here. The lifts on the Phoenix, pretty damn good. And the Marauders fall as well. But an Immortal went down. He got a bunch of workers. Worker count is equalized. Byun now has this 3rd base. But Classic's getting into the next level of tech. Again, this is something the Alpha X Protoss, for whatever reason, in particular, have been doing. And I talk to Astrea sometimes and say, look, do you practice with Classic at all? Like, do you talk? And the answer is generally no. I mean, time zones and everything else. But Astrea and Classic, right around a similar time, both really started moving into this heavy Skytoss focus, getting +1 air quickly, moving into effectively 3-4 base carrier. If the Terran's not able to break them. And it looks strong if the Terran's not ready for the transition. It's not really going into Phoenix heavily already. Now, Force Field's going to be nice, but not as good as it would otherwise be. Armor Shredder Missile means it's really hard for Classic to take this fight, even if Byun does not have a good Viking focus. But Byun is one of those players that doesn't like to go Vikings pretty heavily anyways. That's just not him. He likes to stay ground focused more. He goes ghosts, he goes splits, he goes multitasking. And EMP going to miss everything, or he's going to get everything but that one Phoenix. So 2 ghosts go down. That is unfortunate. Ghosts are expensive. But again, I mean, Byun is one of these players that really does like to go heavy medevac, heavy ghost, heavy bio on the ground. And that is the style that is... I mean, look, we're on 4 Colossus. Not going to be Terror, it's going to be Tempest this time. Byun needs Vikings to fight this. You do not win this game without Vikings for Byun. There's a movie that has that Run Boy Run song as a in a big action scene. Like, I have the song in my head, know there's a movie attached to it, but I can't remember what the movie or the show is. That is really helpful, by the way, in terms of Run Boy Run. But okay, +2 is already on the way here. Byun is going to get enhanced shockwaves eventually, and now he's building Vikings, but he has 2. He needs to get to 12 for the Colossus, and that's not even paying attention to the Tempest and the Phoenix. He needs to go up to like 20 Vikings to be able to contest this, and maybe even +1. But in typical Byun fashion, he's all inning on the ground. He doesn't have an armory until, I mean, he's getting it now. He doesn't really have an armory. He just wants to crush through his opponent, get some really good surrounds. But Classic is playing too defensively for that. I don't really see a world where that happens. I mean, I guess the saving grace is Classic also skipped a lot to get here. In terms of, he didn't really have forges. It's not like his ground upgrades are insane. In fact, he doesn't have any. The Classic can take the bottom left side. It's funny. Technically, this is a sensical expand pattern, right? It is the next base to the left from the 4th, but it really does feel like a ninja base, and it will act like a ninja base. Byun is not going to expect Classic to take the bottom left before the top right. And folks, if there's one thing we know about Byun, if he's not able to get his damage, if he's not able to tell his truth in the mid game, he will struggle in the late game. I mean, we've seen this happen before. Luckily, Byun has 4 bases. So this is not a situation where he's locked into like 3 bases on Glittering Ashes, where Classic takes literally the entire map and proxies Nexi so he can go and get better shield batteries, because that has happened. It's further back on the YouTube if you're curious. I cast it with Fear Dragon. It was a lot of fun. But I mean, look, we're on 23 Marauders, but only 6 Vikings. There's not a lot more room supply in Byun supply to do anything else. He has to find a way to trade these Marauders in a cost-effective manner. And I mean, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard for Byun. Instead, he's not even doing that. He's just killing them. He says, I understand what this game state is. I need to buy room for more Vikings. I need to get +1 air. It's halfway done. I need to get my upgrades. 2-2 is only halfway done. He's just going to have to turtle out a long, long time. Maybe Diversion. I saw that once when I was in, like, junior year of high school. And I wasn't a fan. It washed very much like... Anyway, hold on. I thought we got a big fight picking off here. Big armor shredder missile on top of all the carriers, but not the interceptors. And that's really the big deal. Classic trying to hit here before we have the stacked events popping on up. Disruptor shot not going to get much of anything. But it feels like Byun, at the very least, he's kind of established this base. And something to point out, again, he seems to be doing this in at least TVT, TVP. This is an orbital as his 4th. So he is quad muling. He is quad scanning. But yeah, I don't think it's Divergent. I remember I saw it when I was at a summer program in high school, and it just felt like Brave New World with a bad guy. Like it was, I was underwhelmed. Partially because I'm really not a fan of Brave New World. Like it's interesting philosophically, but Aldous Huxley's a weird dude. Anyway, Vikings moving forward, just looking for snipes that they can find. And look at this, Classic starting to get his static defense set on up here, but what do we have? What do we have? Byun stimming forward. He really just has to kite this back, kill off as many interceptors as he can. There are 38 that remain. Byun, his 2-2 is now done. EMPs can make this a little bit easier. Marauders, they stim forward. They're going to get one disruptor maybe, and they're going to get the second one here as well. Byun in Dead Airspace actually taking a pretty good fight to start here, but he has to be very careful. EMPs blanket the army, actually really blanket the interceptors. That's the big deal, but part of Byun's army is in a very low medevac. Byun, you got to unload that one, especially as there's a ghost in there. All right, so now we have a fusion core on the way. Now we have +2 air attack, more and more ghosts, more and more Vikings. And is he gonna find this? He does not know this base is here, but he's gonna find it regardless. Gotta be careful of the cannons though. Oh no, they're so low. 2 medevacs go down. And instead of a push that probably could have killed this base even with the recall, it's a push that just kills 2 cannons and runs away. Oh no, Byun, low medevacs, be your enemy. That does not feel good, but at least it tells Byun that he can take the bottom left and he can push through it as well. And we also got to remember that was only a partial recall. Byun, as he rotates his entire army around here, he will be able to get these 2 carriers. He will be able to knock this base down. That's going to be very nice. EMP, well, yeah, on the shield batteries, that shield battery return is going to go down pretty quickly, but Byun's got to be careful because the army rotates over and he does not have any static defense on this side. Scans out the army. Oh, he's going to get a couple Phoenix. That's always rather nice. EMPs looking for it, looking for a storm. Carriers are going to go down. That's nice, but there we go. Byun on top of it. Almost like that's funny. He EMPs the High Templar, but it's been around for so long that it still has pretty much a storm regardless. But now he owns the Xel'Naga. From this position, he can start to shell away at these carriers, or excuse me, these Tempests. He's going to knock them down. Storm. That is a huge storm on the Vikings. That really changes the calculus of this fight. Colossus starting to fall. Byun rotates over. He kills this 5th base of Classic eventually, and as he kites backwards with the Vikings, trying to make something happen. Actually, there are only 2 Colossus here. How many storms do we have? Byun needs to hit the EMP, and he only gets half of it. This army is very, very low, but the base does go down. Classic back down to 5 bases. But Byun is going to be able to take his 5th base pretty soon. Taking down a lot of stuff. That was like 3 or 4 Phoenix, a couple of Tempests, a couple of Carriers, some High Templars, a base, a bunch of workers. Byun's pretty solidly in his late game tech now. I was worried for a while, but Classic wasn't able to quite find the advantage that he was looking for. And the question now is, does Classic go back to Colossus? Chief Sandwich, yes, interceptors cost minerals. At different points in the game, they have cost more and they've cost less. That is one of the primary ways that Blizzard has traditionally balanced the carrier. Yeah, Classic late game PvT is really something else. I'm really sad that he got knocked out so early in the GSL because he has done some really cool stuff here. We have adept drops. We have an adept drop into this planetary, but really the important thing is DTs into the natural. Byun's army is not here, but he's going to be able to rotate over pretty quickly. This shouldn't get too much done. Marauder dies, but I mean, that's fine. And there's more prisoners will die here as well. But what Classic's doing more than anything, he's using this as an opportunity to rotate over to try to knock a base down. But Byun already is here with his air fleet, so we're going to see the Tempest go down. Storm, though, Byun, you got to be careful. The storms Byun, so many Vikings go down in the blink of an eye. And now the stack defense doesn't matter because there's really nothing to defend it. It is dying. Byun will lose this base. Well, the bio arrives. EMP's blanket everything. Maybe he's not going to lose the base, but it's not easy to hold anymore. He lost the deep defensive emplacement that he has set up for himself. Disrupt's going forward, really not getting all that much. Those Vikings. 27 Vikings have died this game, but I mean, I feel like 15. I would love, Observer Plus is not in this. Would love to see how many Vikings died in that last fight because just so many. Hello there, Hazel X Minix. Thank you so much for the follow. Nuke going down on a base that actually doesn't have any workers. It's going to knock the static defense out, I guess, and that's something. As Vikings in the high ground, another carrier will fall. Byun looking to stim in. Oh, there we go. He does get the disruption. He doesn't do the Byun thing. Overstays. Welcome. Colossus are starting to fall here. Carriers falling as well. But the question again, interceptor count. It's down to 3. It's down to 2. Marauders on the ground. They don't really matter. But Byun's army is on top of the sky toss here. It's going to have to be a recall. Recalls don't matter. They're all going to go down. 2 carriers survive. Byun, he avoids the disruptor, and that buys him all the room in the world. The space on the upper right-hand side, it has been broken. It is dead. It's in the ground. It's more broken than my mental state after that last fight. Is all the probes, they're dead. The base is dead. We are now looking at 1 Tempest, 4 carriers on the map. Byun taking such an incredibly cost-effective trade. Classic's only option, he has to go and just find value on the other side. He has to force run-bys. He has to force his way to force Byun home. And the nuke going down again, knocking down the static defense. Probes, not really going to see much happen. And the Zealot run-by is actually really nice. It's going to kill off a lot of these missile turrets and force the entire army of Byun back. Do we have another nuke? Oh, it's in production. We do not have a nuke. So I was like, man, you nuke that army. But Ghost will go down. Okay. Zealot run-by has been dealt with, but the static defense of Byun is not really there. That being said, excuse me. That being said, he's got a big bank. He can rebuild his missile turrets. We can rebuild. We have the technology. Jean de Plume. Thanks so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. And actually, I really like this from Byun. Notice he's getting high sec auto tracking. He's getting building armor. And one might say, well, you know, it's just because it's late game TVP. Hey, Zway to M. Thanks so much for the follow. Because it's getting late game and you get it. But in this game in particular, keeping these missile turrets alive and getting maximum damage from them when it is such a carrier and a carrier heavy army for the most part, you do want to make sure that you're able to keep those alive. So getting additional armor, giving them additional range, giving them more effectiveness in general is absolutely worthwhile. Hey, Rich the DJ Medley. Thanks so much for the follow as well. Now Byun running forward here. EMPs do invalidate a lot of this static defense. Nuke on the bottom side. Byun actually, there are a couple Light Templars. That's just about it. The Vikings on the bottom side, they're going to get a couple Tempests. That's really nice. But we got a fight kicking off here in the middle. There are 7 Storms or something in this position. Byun has to hit the EMPs. Disruptor Shot's going to look to put Byun in a corner, but he's not going to get them. And now we're going to start seeing some Planetaries fall. Oh man, big storms here, but the problem is really the Vikings are out here. Storms on the Vikings on the bottom side, but now I think the storms have been mostly expended. So many Vikings are falling though, and Byun, he took a good fight earlier. I don't know that he can do this again. There are 29 interceptors on the field. This is looking a lot harder. Byun needs the reinforcements. He needs some way to make this happen, and even as he's finding some free Tempests and things like that, he has to get a big flank. He's got to find some value because there's still storms on the field. This is a hard fight for him to take in earnest. So it looks like he says, yeah, I'm just going to run by. I'm going to lose this base. That's fine. I have more bases where that came from, and if I can kill off a base of yours, hit a big flank, hit some big Viking shots maybe, it's going to be worthwhile. But his bank has been spent. So too has Classics, to be fair. But both players really in the Stone Age in terms of economy. Oh, but Byun's going to get a couple disruptors. That's going to be nice. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, 3 goes down, but the storms blanket the army. It's going to force Byun back. That is so much damage. Plus 3 carriers. They rip through things, but now the Vikings are free firing. We're looking at 22 interceptors, EMPs on the army. Is this it? Does Byun break through right now? If he doesn't, he's dead. And it looks like he will be able to do so. No interceptors left anymore, but the bio is so damn low. I don't know that it can fight the cannons anymore. Don't know that it can fight the Archons. So he's going to force their kite back, go back. And the Tempests, the saving grace of Classic. And somehow this game goes on. I thought it was one way or the other. This game ends. That is not the case. Hey, DHMKJPP. Thank you so much for... Yeah. I like to think I have a good caster voice. Jimmy Needles, Dr. Dotson. Ramon Shatter. Oh no, Byun absolutely is good enough to win a GSL. Rogue just won the GSL, and Byun should have killed Rogue in the round of 10. Byun should have gotten out of that round of 10. And then it's a totally different story. Where are we at now? We got Bill or mech armor on the way. Byun still has the base in the upper right, bottom left, but he's really starting to mine out of those bases, I think. So Curious have to be Phoenix or Vikings have to be very careful here. Interceptors run in, but Vikings do fall. This base is going to get given up now. Byun understands he cannot really hold it anymore. But this is a problem because he will lose all of these SCVs, going down to 38. His army supply is not really inspiring. His bank is mostly dead as he takes the bottom side, though. They're still an assimilator there, or trading bases, trading spaces. Terran versus Protoss. Byun just says, yeah, you know, this space punk theme that you got for yourself, I'm not a big fan. I don't really like it. We need to go some more mid-century modern Terran. Absolutely, that's how that works. He's going to build you an entirely new bedroom by dropping a planetary on its head. But, you know, planetaries are nice. We like planetaries. So, folks, I'm seeing a lot of people here that were not here earlier. I'm assuming that Cure versus Zest is complete, so spoil it for me. Who is the winner of this series going to run into in the finals? Hello, ex-girlfriend dumped me for a greater spire. I gotta run back there, Byun. Yeah, this is a little bit scary. Byun has a tendency to just really, really mess up against disruptors, but he's gonna take a positive fight here against the Zealots right now. We all know the Zealots don't matter. Their job is to kill off as much bio as possible, but really it is the Sky Toss at the end of the day that makes or breaks this fight. Vikings trying to keep backwards as they can. A carrier does fall. Byun again on a army supply lead. But please, again, drop from the medevac. Those are important ghosts. Yeah, this is a truly insane game. All right, bio stims in. Disruption. Oh, God, be careful there, Byun. Oh, no, that is a big shot. Suddenly, Byun, instead of being up, army supply, he's down, and I don't know that he can fight the Sky Toss anymore. I don't know that he can fight the Stalker, sure, but Blink Stalker Disruptor with this many carriers, I think Birthday Boy Byun may be out of this game now. I mean, he's got time. He's mining a lot more than his opponent. Mules are a powerful thing, but he's going to lose this base on the bottom side pretty soon, I think. And I don't know that he can build enough soon enough to contest this army. He's only on 4 Vikings. And there are storms here now. There are 2 layers of splash. Archons just to tank up. And I don't... If Byun gets on top of these carriers, sure, he kills them. Maybe. But I'm not even sure that he can do that. And there we go. This planetary is dead. Nothing you can do about it. Ideally, Byun gets the SCVs up, but I'm not even sure he can do that one. Maybe he's going to try to cat this army on the retreat, cat it piecemeal, but Byun now down to 20 SCVs, 19 SCVs. He's got to find this army piecemeal in some way, shape, or form. But Classic is doing such a good job of, well, just keeping it together. So Byun is like no minerals, 400, 700 minerals in this base. Not much more, actually less in this base, like 400. Really, there's nowhere for him to mine. He has to take another base. His core bases are dead. And, oh, man, Classic. He already recalls north. He understands what Byun wanted to do, but Byun had to do that earlier. He was just sitting there outside of his base, his 4th base that's not really mining. And it doesn't really... If he'd gone rotated and maybe knocked out his opponent's economy at the same time, if he'd killed the upper right, if he had maybe been able to stim in and get this base as well, maybe it's fine. I mean, I worry that the army complexity is still too high, but maybe. Ooh, EMPs, though. Tempest does not go down, but he doesn't lose a Viking. That's the most important thing. What are we at? Again, Viking down. 13 Vikings to 5 carriers. Oh, Cure won an insane comeback. Got it. Okay, so we have some orbitals that we can lift over to another base. Bottom left really is the prize. Byun has to be able to mine from that one again, but for now, I guess he says, I just need to be able to rotate over, disruptor shots to run forward. 3rd one, Byun gonna stim in right here, right now. He says, this is my time, opportunity, and there we go. All the disruptors are dead, or at least all but one are dead. This makes it so much easier to fight this army now. I don't know how many MPs we have, though, for the High Templar, rotating from the north side, but at least the splash is done, for the most part. High Templar running forward, though. Byun, is he paying attention? He doesn't see it. Oh, he does? No, he does. Zelnaga, you just got to kill this Byun. Snipe it down. Okay, stims a little bit of bio forward. That's going to be fine. Storms are dropped. Actually, 2 storms are dropped. You'll take that one. That means there's only 1 storm in that High Templar. And there are not a lot of High Templars in this game right now, actually. So the the Vikings can be a little bit more aggressive here. They're going to run forward. Not a lot of anti-air, actually, unless outside of the air itself. So the Vikings, they're going to do what they can. Now the Archons, they run forward, and this is actually going to be a pretty good fight here. Carriers start to fall. Viking could get another one, but it's very, very low. He's going to get a Tempest here. Byun starting to try to make some magic happen. Find a victory from defeat, because this is a heavy lift to do indeed. All right, so Biostims forward. More disruptors go down. Byun has it. Okay. Ooh, be very careful there. Storms go off on the bio, but actually goes off on the Zealots as well. Byun kiting backwards, but he just can't build Vikings anymore. His mineral bank is just too damn low, and we're looking at it's actually only 13 interceptors. SCV's being pulled to keep him alive. Byun, this is maybe his fight. If he knocks it all down, is it going to be enough? The one carrier is all that remains of the Skytoss army, and Byun, he takes the fight. My goodness, he takes the fight. It's 46 armies supplied to 14. No one's really mining anymore. Storm doing what it can, but Byun, he's not mining, but he's knocked down all the complexity of this army. I don't know how he did that. But Byun, he's not mining. He's long distance all over the place, but he knocked down all the complexity, and now he can kill the base. Now he can do things at this game. I have chills. I did not believe the repair on the SCVs with the last dregs of Byun's economy. That worked. That freaking worked. Now, of course, DT on the bottom side is going to deny mining here. But Byun, yeah, is going to be able to rotate over to defend that one, and have mules will travel is really the story here. Byun unlocking this base. We're going to see his mineral income really start to spike here for a second. There we go. DT, it doesn't really, yeah, it's going to blink out of a scan. That's annoying. But it will go down. I think Byun should have killed the base. I understand you want to reestablish a base of your own, but Classic's army supply has re-equalized. The value is not as bad. In fact, they're going to find this base, but there's really no mining from it. Byun can just kind of lift it up and go home. But man, if you kill Classic's last mining base, you kill that Tempest. I mean, that I think would be the play, because again, there's no mining right here. Oh man, I love looking at chat 2 minutes ago, like right before the big fight happens, and it's like Classic can't lose this. It's Ray Rain saying Classic absolutely can lose this. Yeah, I don't understand how that happened, but I will take it. Absolutely. What a fight. What a fight from Byun. Now, of course, the game's still going on, and we're going to see more bases get lifted up, sent back home. Again, it doesn't matter. As long as they're down, they can drop mules. Byun is just desperately defending this bottom side. How many ghosts do we have? We're at 9 ghosts. That's the big deal. 1 Tempest, 2 Disruptors, 4 High Templar, and just a metric ton of Zealots. Oh, I love it. 2 minutes behind, we see chat finally react to that one. As probes have been pulled to deal with the missile turret, of course, folks, that is the standard late game meta on Curious Minds, but I think this is probably the best game I've ever seen on Curious Minds. My goodness. So Byun now rotating forward. This is not a position that Classic really cares about. There's no mining on it anymore. The probes are part of this army. There is very little mining. Classic has 54 workers, but really it's only the 18 of them, the 20 of them mining Deperite that matter at all. So he sent some on the other side. He has some probes with this army. Zealous looking for a run by, but again, Byun doesn't care about this spot. He only cares about the bottom left and his army. In fact, the crazy thing, we're not going to see him do it, but the crazy next level play would be to just go and actually pull all of his production on the bottom side. So that's also going to show up, though. Actually, Byun, he's going to take that sacrifice. That is a lot of Zealots that he can kill pretty easily with all the ghosts in his army. Disruptor's not going to find much value, and that is about 20 supply. That Classic has here is actually going to be forced to recall, but still Zealots will die. What is dead may never die, but instead it will die here. Byun moving forward, Disruptor shot going out. Byun doesn't have the entirety of his army. EMPs on these Disruptors. It's going to be a lot easier to kill them now. Byun stims in, gets a Disruptor, and now the probes have been pulled. This is the fight. Classic has to make something happen here. EMPs on the army. Are we going to have the storms that we need? The Vikings, they're just providing so much goddamn vision. They're making it so these High Templar cannot join the fight. Disruptors are falling. Archons are falling. Byun, he's done it. In 33 minutes, the fight on the top side turned the game around, and I don't see a world where Classic is able to do this anymore. Maybe Storms, maybe Disruptors. They're always possible. They always can make miracles happen. But folks, I think we've already seen our quota of miracles in this game. This is it, folks. Storms are good. If the intercept... Oh, the medevac 40 EMPs. So many of the High Templar. There's still Storms available. We got to be careful. But Byun is just styling here right now. He's feeling as though it's his birthday. He will not be denied. There is one Storm remains. It does not hit good enough. Byun here. He's running on in. There's nothing left. Oh, that's actually one last Storm. It's going to be fantastic. Maybe I spoke too soon. But the Archons fall. The army falls. Everything is dead. There's nothing left. Classic. He has fought his damnedest. Fought his hardest in this game. But in 34 minutes, there is nothing left for the Chin Toss. Just a couple Zealots, a couple probes. A couple probes on the harass. And I think Classic doesn't really understand how much Byun has. I don't think Classic understands how much Byun has because he's not coming back into this game. Oh man, what a game. What a game. Hey, Nefario Gaming, thanks so much for the sub. Dave Tessa, thank you so much for the gift sub. Now that I have a second to talk about this. Zealots are going to try to make the end, like the final stand here for Classic, but I mean, Zealots, there are ghosts in this army. The Zealots are not what you need, not with the upgrade lead. Classic, he's doing one last try. He understands that he should have won this game. Maybe Storms. Maybe Storm's going to be enough. The bio is low, but Byun now stimming into the last mining base. The probes are going to get pulled. Oh, that's a big Storm, though. That evaporated so much of that army. But I don't know. That's going to be a Stalker Blink. Oh, wait a minute. Stalker Blinks forward. That's a lot of stuff there. And last Storm goes down. Archons are doing what they can. This game is scrappy as hell. But there we go. There we go. Byun. Holy crap. Byun is just inhuman. Folks, I don't know. It's 1:30 in the morning, and that normally happens. I don't know how I sleep after that game. Like, that's sometimes the problem casting EPT Korea. It goes late. It kind of gets to that point where you hit your second win, and you're like, oh, crap, I'm never sleeping again. But also the problem is the fact that when you get games like that, yeah, well, some people are saying Classic will never mentally recover. He's just going for the adapted Classic build, the Max Packs 2.0, where you build your first gateway at home, you get a Cyber Core, and then you build a gateway on the map, you put a lot of pressure, and just really make it impossible for Byun to be happy. Classic has killed a lot of Terrans this way. He's reverse swept Dream in the Alpha X pre-cat evades the party. When he made the finals, at least. I forget if he won the thing or not. Talking about his wrist must be hurting right now. I mean, kind of, but we have to remember, Byun, for whatever reason, he kills it online. It's just the GSL studio that makes his wrist die. We got this pylon on the map, though, and the probe's trapped the main base. Where'd the probe go? Oh, did he recall the probe? He recalled the probe. Okay, so there's this pylon on the map, but he's not doing anything with it. Probe's going there now, but Byun's gonna scout. Oh, yep. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. That's not what you want. That truly is not what you want. So Byun is going to get a full scout off, and more importantly, this is a Adept popping out first, so yeah, Byun's just not going to do much of anything there. Did the volume just get quiet, or just me? Maybe it's just the music turning off, I don't know. That sounded weird. It felt like just the StarCraft audio ducked for a second. Man, there's nothing I derive pleasure from more, by the way, than watching chat react to just insanity 2 minutes behind. I mean, I'd rather see you reacting as it happens, because that's even more fun. But, I mean, I don't know, maybe it lets me appreciate it even more unless the game happens like that, where it's one of those things where the game is insane, and it is insane, but you have the big moment, the moment that turns the game around, and then it just doesn't stop. And I can't take a moment to enjoy people freaking out. But this Reaper's trapped now. The Reaper, he has no path home. He's trying to do the thing. So you can actually Reaper grenade yourself over the small point, over the tiny little bit of the hitbox right there. I mean, that fight that Byun lost 6 disrupt, or that Byun killed 6 disruptors, Byun is the only Terran player that goes for that. 9 times out of because Byun is also the Terran player that does that, and he loses his entire army because he misjudges it. He plays at the edge of things, and it either works or it doesn't. And in that game, it absolutely worked out. But it's also something that Byun had to do, because if he just takes the fight at the edge of things, keeps trading back and forth a little bit, that was a fight that Classic was always going to win. So he had to just all in. He had to do some plays that wouldn't normally happen. Hey, Dave Tessa, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Gozu Azura. Thank you so much. But okay, Bio stims on in here, and ooh, that's a tank as well. So it's actually going to kill these Stalkers pretty well, even without some sort of siege. So Classic's in a little bit of trouble right now. The tank is not going down. Cyclone's going to get a lock on the high ground. Another Stalker falls. Byun going to look for a sieged up position. I think he cancels this third base. Does he have more tech on the way? It looks like it's just Bio, but he should be able to cancel this third base. Classic's pulling his probes. He understands that this is a bit of a problem. He says, I don't want that to happen, but Byun's going to be happy. He says, yeah, sure, I'll kill your probes. That's fine. Actually, my tank is going to stay alive anyways. Classic force to blink back. Third base should get canceled now. You pull the probes once, it doesn't work. I think that's probably it. Stalker's going to run forward. They're going to get the tank. That's very nice, but they're going to trade their lives in exchange. Classic, I'm not going to say he's tilted off the face of the earth, but this is just not the play we're looking for from him. His pressure didn't work. Pulling those probes seems a bit dodgy, and now he's down 11 workers. Byun's happy to let the third base survive. He did damage to it, so it's easier to kill later. He's up 10 workers. His 3-1-1 is happening soon enough. Yeah, I'd buy the shell shock. I mean, it's just... That game too, after games like that, you almost never see insane games. It just normally is, hey, I'm gonna do the funny thing, and we're gonna cheese because I don't want to play another 30-minute game like that. And it takes so much mental, physical effort. Absolutely. I mean, you play long games like that, and your forearms they can hurt. I mean, these players play tons of games a day, so maybe not. Maybe that's just me because I don't play StarCraft enough. But you play enough StarCraft, like the muscles in your wrists, in your forearms start to hurt. Maybe Byun's wrists are sad. And there's just so much mental strength as well. And Dave Testa, thanks for the 250 bits. I appreciate it. I will use it to buy lemon tea and honey to put a balm on my voice after Byun just made me lose it after that last game. But a drop in the main base now because Classic is not really prepared for this. He's got some stuff in the natural. He's going to catch an Immortal, maybe. There's no stat defense here to keep the Immortal alive. So dead Immortal, not really Immortal all that much. In fact, I think Byun just takes his fight, but no, he backs up. He says, I'd rather kill workers. Pick up, go home. And that's just it. Yeah, Byun broken Classic, mentally, physically, emotionally. He will not be denied his birthday right. He's on to the finals.